I'm using the bottom half of a laptop from 10 years ago. Because 10 years ago, I had this laptop and the screen got busted and everything got weird with it. Nobody ever fixed the screen. Asus refused to fix it because it was like a known problem they had. I got it back eventually, but I only had the bottom half. And so this bottom half of the laptop is what Gunhouse was ported to Switch on. And pretty much anytime anything goes south, I just pull out this half of a laptop that only works with my mobile hub connection for internet, and so I'm like on a mobile hotspot, and it's ridiculous, but
it's working though.
It's working.
It's
That's
functional
like
for
ghetto
now.
in the good way, like the ghetto MacGyver. I appreciate that.
I need to do a couple of things, like for example, install Audacity.
Okay, yeah. Oh, God. What an episode.
What happened?
Tim had a special guest for us, who I tailored the entire show for. Then Brandon's laptop got stolen.
Right.
And then Tim's guest canceled.
Okay.
And then Tim canceled.
Oh.
And fortunately, Ash was able to jump in at the last minute, and we might be able to get a stew going here.
Okay. All right. Good. Took me a second to internalize what you meant by a stew. It was like a who's stew.
STEW, yes.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Toad's getting blasted off cooler beers on the tennis court again, so it's time for Insert Credit. This is episode 264 of the only video game podcast with an array of topics curated to surprise, delight, and vex you, interspersed with the sounds of a horrible buzzer. I'm Alex Jaffe, and I would say the video gamiest Muppet is New Zealand, the one who wears an Elizabethan ruffle collar and throws fish like boomerangs.
Wow. My name's Frank Cifaldi, and I think the video gamingest Muppet. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about Muppets. I don't have a good internal database. Like, like Kermit, Miss Piggy, Grover, Animal.
Grover counts.
Grover. Oh, Grover's. Oh, Sesame Street. Right. Okay. Sesame Street. I have a really good internal. Snuffleupagus can turn invisible. Probably. It seems like a video game mechanic.
Oh yeah, stealth guy.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm Brandon Sheffield. I was trying to think about. I realized I was thinking about this the wrong way. I was thinking about the gamerist, not the video gamiest.
So based on the prompt, you feel that gamers throw projectiles?
Is that
sometimes?
Maybe I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. I was in another world.
Let us know in the forums if you're a gamer and you throw projectiles.
I'm gonna. Well, they throw like you throw your controller when you're mad, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It still fits. Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I'm gonna say the video gamiest one is probably Animal, because he's all destroying of things and smashy and
sure.
He could be in a rhythm game, no problem.
That's a very satisfactory answer. Joining us this week is the official Insert Credit Horned correspondent, Ash Parrish.
Hi, glad to be back. The video gamiest Muppet, I'm going to go with the gamer definition, is Oscar the Grouch, because he's mean and he lives in a trash can and he hates everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
exactly.
Good call.
For that, I was going to go with Big Bird, because he's always moping and like being like, but why? And seems gamer style.
I want you to know that when I was trying to visualize him going, but why? Like in actual scenario, it was the heart-wrenching episode after Jim Henson had died. And then we all laughed.
Mr. Cooper.
God.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Hooper.
Mr. Hooper.
Mr. Hooper died,
Mr. Hooper. Mr. Cooper was a different show. That was a show. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper is not part of the Muppet.
That's right.
Well, here's the situation, folks. Our previously booked guest, who I tailored this entire episode to, canceled at nearly the last minute. Brandon's laptop got stolen, so it looked like he wasn't going to be able to make it. Frank is between deadlines, so he can only be here for an hour.
Frank tried to cancel, but wasn't allowed.
No, because of the arrangement we have. That we'll elucidate that at a future time. Ash was able to join us at the very last minute because she's true family, and that all came together just in time for Tim to cancel. So I've had to shuffle some things around, and here's my opening question for you. Is Mario Italian?
Well, it's I guess Nintendo has just now said that he's not a plumber anymore.
Wait, they said that?
That I saw a headline that said that. I didn't read the article.
Ash, did you read the article? Did you write the article?
No. I did not do any of that stuff.
Okay.
I keep getting emails in my inbox from like some PR company trying to get me to write a piece about how much money Mario would make as a plumber. And it's like apparently like short of 50 grand. And I'm like, I think plumbers make more than that, but whatever. Stop emailing me, please.
Unions, baby.
I love that stupid company because they're like, they run a like an online Yahtzee game. And then they do these like incredibly stupid analytics that are based on Google searches.
Yeah.
Do you mean Yahtzee like the dice game or Yahtzee like the critic?
The dice game. And
all right, that's slightly less stupid.
they just, well, it's equally irrelevant to having accurate statistics about important gamer news. But I love that they just mail and they keep being like, please write about this. And I did make a couple viral tweets about some of their stupid stats in the past, but I just stopped doing it because it's all so dumb. And because their data is nothing. Anyway, is he Italian? I don't know. I watched that trailer and sometimes it's Chris Pratt doing like his one New York-ish accent that he can do. But then there's a couple times where he's like, let's go. And so I don't know. Nintendo doesn't seem to care anymore.
That seems less Italian and more like looking at the audience and winking, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I was just going to say that trailer sucks. It's, like that trailer is, you watch it and it's a very clear template. It's made for kids by people who do not respect the intelligence of kids. But then it also is full of references for the 40-year-olds that will be taking their kids to it. But it's just like a grab bag of that stuff. I don't know. It really left a sour taste. It feels weirdly cynical, which like why should it be cynical? Just make a fun movie. They could have done that.
I think it'll be fun.
That's probably
visually the trailer is incredible. Like visually all of the hallmarks are there and they look really good. Like, oh, okay, I can jibe with this. But like everything else about this, except to the sole exclusion of whatever Luigi and Bowser got going on, is like morally corrupt and bankrupt. But I was gonna say, I can definitively say that Mario is not Italian. He's English because Bob Hoskins is English.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think that solves it for me.
Well,
wow.
So I am the child of a New York third generation Italian immigrant.
Yeah.
So am I Italian?
That's a good question. I think you're English because of Bob Hoskins.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he took y'all with him.
You're Italian the same way Tony Soprano is Italian.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. I like that episode when they went to Italy and they were posers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I listened to a podcast called Pod Yourself a Gun and they just covered that episode. And apparently it's like one of David Chase's like least liked episodes for some reason.
I really liked the dream sequence episodes of The Sopranos, like when he threw vegetables at a giant frog.
Wait.
Oh yeah.
That
Or
did
like the talking dead fish also.
No.
Okay, the talking dead
I'm
fish.
talking about like when he and Luigi and Toad and Peach went to that fairyland and started throwing vegetables at a giant frog. That dream episode.
I just watched The Sopranos and that didn't happen. So like
That was a bit of a reach for me, I feel.
the talking
Now,
fish
wait
did
a
happen
minute.
though. I
Yeah.
know, right?
Listen, it was originally part of a different show called Doki Doki Panic, but they refilmed it with Tony Soprano, and it was one of their most ambitious dream episodes. And I think it
Doki
really
Doki Pizza. Doki Doki Panini.
exactly right. We got that.
Doki Doki Paisano. That's
Doki Doki Paisano. Thank you. Bada bing. We got it. Mario is not Italian. We've solved it now and forever. So Chris Pratt is in the clear. Here's our next question. Comes from insert credit show editor Esper Quinn, who won last week's episode. Esper asks, if a game lets you start as a warrior, wizard, rogue, or cleric, which do you choose and why?
Usually a warrior for me. It seems like that's what's meant to be the default when you're starting a new game. It's like you learn the ropes with the warrior and then you can kind of graduate to the more complicated guys.
Yeah, it kind of depends on what sort of game it is. Like if it's an action-oriented game, it's like, okay, clearly I want to hit buttons, and so I'm going to be the warrior. But sometimes, like, the priest is a paladin or whatever, and you can hit buttons and do magic, and they're the in-between one. And if that's the case, then I tend to go for them, I would say.
So this is highly dependent on whether or not these are characters that you can customize yourselves or come with presets. So like with Diablo, like they all have like, you look a certain way if you choose the monk or whatever. So this is going to be a very Ashley answer here. I'm going to go for whichever is black, which burned the shit out of me when I played Diablo 3 because the witch doctor is terrible.
Yeah, I'm going to say rogue, and I'll tell you why I'm going to say rogue. I know I don't seem like a roguish person, but this is the reason I go rogue in this particular scenario.
Okay, we're listening.
In a game where you have these different classes with different abilities, what they do for the rogue is that there are these chests and these doors that you cannot unlock, that you cannot pass unless you are a rogue. And it is going to bother the hell out of me if there's like a door in this video game that I can't open, that I can't know what's behind it. And if the only way I can do that is by being a little sneaky guy, and I don't like being a little sneaky guy, but that's my only option. If I have to open the door, that's what I'm going to do.
Jaffe, I now have a question for you. Has there ever been anything good behind one of those doors? Because
sometimes.
Not in my experience. Okay.
Sometimes there is. There's like a neat little thing.
Because usually it's like, here's something that we put here so that you would use the rogue class.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's usually like, here's an empty room and there's 3 gold.
You know what the most important thing behind that door is? The knowledge of what is behind that door.
The sense of completion.
Exactly.
Dang, you can't be playing any Skyrims, Jaffe. You'd be spend your whole life in there.
I really can't.
You can't play Skyrims because you don't get past, like, modding the shit out of your game. You spend, like, 9 hours installing mods and, you know, tweaking it to the exact, like, specificity, and then that is how you experience Skyrim. That's, like, the only way you engage with the game.
Yeah, you gotta have those infinite cheese wheels or whatever.
It's too big. There are too many doors. I can't do it.
Well, I play the priest in Kadash because she has a flail, and it's a long-range weapon, and it hits enemies going and coming back. And she's not as strong as the warrior, but she hits twice, and she's faster, and the flail's long, and she's the only character with heal magic. So, like, you could just beat the whole game with that character. And I think that playing as her in the early on days of my video game playing kind of gave me a soft spot for the priesty type class, despite my antipathy toward religion in general. So it's that's an interesting one that I'll have to unpack later. I'm gonna go pray about it.
We're moving along at a good clip. I appreciate this. We're getting stuff done. We are checking things off. Here is our third question. There's a lot to get through on the agenda.
I can hear you scrambling. It's great.
Between the glitches in the new Pokemon games and the waves of DLC announced for Sonic Frontiers, there's been a lot of discussion about shipping an unfinished game. What does it mean for a video game to be finished?
No game's ever been finished.
Right.
That is not a thing.
Exactly.
I've never worked on a product where I'm like, yeah, we're done. That's good. We don't need to do anything else. Everything goes out unfinished.
But eventually, you stop. So I think it's the video game is finished when you can no longer afford to work on it, or when there's no incentive for that to happen anymore. So game development does stop sort of at some point, unless you do like a remake. But yeah, when is it finished? Like we made Gunsport, and then we remade Gunsport, and then we put Gunsport out, and now we are basically version 1.5ing it with Hyper Gunsport. And is there more we could do? Yeah. But am I tired of it? Yeah. So I would say it's finished, if that makes sense. Unless someone gives us a bunch of money to do something else, then it's done. Maybe that's when it's finished. When everybody's tired of it. Does that make sense?
It does, but I mean, it does nothing to address the people who say these games that ship with glitches or with content that was meant to be included but wasn't come out unfinished.
It's one of those things where it's like it's a systemic problem where the reason that Pokemon shipped was because it had to be ready for holiday. Did anybody in there think it was ready? I don't know. But they had to do it. And so I think that perhaps the The vision of finished enough to put out is, do you need to make money on it right now as a developer? And that's it. Because there's always stuff that people are going to want to put in. But with Sonic Frontiers, like, I feel like they were really sure that they had it all together because they were talking a big game about it. They focus tested it for like a year and a half before it came out and a full year before they announced it. And they were like, yeah, these little weird little squiggles we put in the sky, those are perfect. You know, like they wanted those.
Wait, we haven't talked about this game on this show. Did you play it?
I have been, in addition to other things that have happened, I've been waiting to recover from a wrist injury, so I have not yet played.
Yeah, it's too fast for a lame wrist.
Yeah, too fast and too furious.
Yeah.
I think this question was for me.
Go for it, Ash.
This is for the resident Sonic lover. Actually, me and Sonic actually broke up recently.
I heard about this.
It was because of Sonic Frontiers, and that game really hurt me, and we decided it was best for our relationship and our children if we like take a step back and take a break from each other for a while. So it's been really
go on,
hard
I want to hear this. Come on. What's up? What happened? What happened?
Sonic Frontiers, man, I bought that game. I bought into that game so hard. Like, I saw it at Summer Games Fest. Like, it was... And the funny thing is just that Sega patently did not want you to talk about the things that I knew would be attractive to Sonic fans. Like, there's a portion of the game that's not like the open world part where you go and you do these, like, levels that are like reminiscent of like Green Hill and
like cyber missions or whatever.
Wait, they didn't want you to talk about the Sonic levels that are in the Sonic game?
Like the original embargo for like the preview at Summer Games Fest, and then the review for the actual game, they're like, don't talk about this stuff. Like, we want to preserve some mystery or whatever. And I'm like, no, because this is the thing that sells Sonic games.
Right.
Like, the open world stuff is fun, and it is fun to a point. But the thing that gets Sonic fans like me like hyped as shit is like, okay, we want the kind of like old school platforming, maybe rendered in 3D. Like, I'm more of a 2D girl, so I'm never going to be happy until they release Sonic Mania 2 or whatever. But like, we want to see
never gonna happen.
Yeah, I know, right?
Can we get the prices right, like bad sound right there?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, Sonic Frontiers is, oh, God, that game broke my heart. Like, it broke me like in my soul. And I don't say that lightly. And I don't say that lightly about Sonic, right? But there are just points in this game that are just so frustrating that it's like, I didn't want to touch a freaking video game after I got done with Sonic Frontiers. Yeah, It was that bad. Because the way that it's like designed and put together, and some of the arbitrary decisions that were made that actually don't even really have anything to do with glitches, like, are just so terrible that I like hated video games for a week after I got done playing it. Like, it was a chore. And I was like, I literally have never ever done this in any game that has like been bad. I literally started crying because I was so frustrated with this game that I desperately wanted to like, and desperately needed to finish to write a review for it. But like, there's this moment where like, and the actual like game itself, like with the characters and the writing and the acting, whatever, is really cute, like tongue-in-cheek like references to Sonic's past and stuff like that. It's cute stuff. And there's this moment where you have to play pinball and you have to get like 5 million points, and you have 3 lives to do it, and they gate progression behind it. So you cannot advance unless you beat this arbitrary...
Wait, you got stuck on the stupid pinball part?
Oh yeah, I did. Because I'm not a pinball person. There's no tilt function, and you only have 3 lives, and you slowly build up your modifier. And by the time
the thing is, the modifier, like, most of the time it's in a really easy spot, but then once in a while it's just right behind the like gutter. And that's like, even for pinball pros, that's kind of a hard shot. So that part's really stupid.
By the time you get to a multiplier where you're actually making a dent in the 5 million points that you need, you're down to your last life, and then you start over and your multiplier resets. It's bullshit. And it took me like an hour, and I had to have my husband do it, which is a terrible thing to admit as a female gamer. But like, he was like tired and frustrated with me doing this. So he's like, step aside, woman, I'll do it. And he actually did it on the first try, the son of a bitch. But then there's like, after you get the 5 million points, you have to like hit a button or whatever. And he died before he hit that button. He was on his last life. So you had to do it over again. It's so fucking stupid. I cried. That wasn't the moment that made me.
Or did
no.
Okay.
So like, the last island, the final island, and you get there and there's this like the caterpillar boss. So this is the first time you're seeing the caterpillar boss, right? And I like fight this thing over and over and over again, and I finally get like a good groove, like, okay, this is a new enemy. I've understood like how it works. I know how I can beat it. So I'm in a good spot. I haven't lost any rings. I'm on the second phase. It's about to die, and I fall through the world. Like I just fall through the world, and I just quit the game. That's when I like broke down and teared up, because I'm like, I'm like, by that point, I'm already fed up. And so I'm like, okay, this is a unique boss. Like the combat in Sonic Frontiers is freaking amazing. So I loved that part. And it was like, oh, okay, I'm getting back into this game again, because the things that it does well, it does really well. And then I fall through the world, and I just like quit. Like I just quit.
I can feel that feeling that you had. I've certainly experienced it.
So yeah, that's my Sonic Frontiers. Like, me and Sonic, we're on the outs right now.
First of all, I can't believe we're reviewing a contemporary video game on this podcast. Second of all, we have just conclusively proven that, yes, video games can make you cry.
That's right.
It's been a long point of debate on this show.
Yeah, it was EA asked that in 83 or something like that. Yeah, they finally figured it out.
Okay, so Frank, your turn.
I haven't had a relationship with Sonic since the Dreamcast, other than Mania. Mania doesn't count, right? Like, Mania is not...
That's an aberration, yes.
Right. So it's literally like Adventure 1 is the last Sonic game I really tried to play. So I don't know. I got this. All the previews and stuff, I thought it was really stupid. Like, I didn't think I'd want to play it at all. But it was just one of most of my video game decisions are like, I don't know, I guess I'll get that. And that happens like once every 4 months. So that happened with Sonic. Played through the whole dang thing. It was fine, but the system designs are fine, right? The maybe level designs are fine. The game design is really, really weird and bad in terms of like the numbers. In terms of like things that you... So Ash was describing a caterpillar boss. I've never seen that boss. You know why I've never seen that boss? Because you can just fish and beat the game. And that's what I did.
This is true. And that's what I ended up doing at the latter half of the game. I'm like, I have so many of these fishing coins. Let me just buy all the bullshit.
It just gives you so many.
Yeah,
it gives you so many.
Let me just buy all the bullshit I need to unlock the other bullshit and just keep going, because fuck this. I'm tired of this game.
Yeah, that's how I beat the game. I just fished it. I just overfished whatever that island was called. And I don't know. It was fun to run around. I thought the stages were all right. Like, it was fine. I didn't cry. I beat that pinball stage in, I don't know, 20 minutes and hated it. But
because you're a man.
Yeah, I'm a man. Because I'm a man, a dude. I could beat it.
I guess girls can't do pinball or math.
Yeah, well, you did the math because you realized, oh, I can just fish.
Yeah.
So you did the math.
Girls can do math. They can't do pinball.
Okay, my bottom line with that game is I played it for, I don't know, 25 hours. I don't really remember much. That's my review. It just went right through.
That fishing thing is really interesting to me because it looks a lot to me like a Band-Aid for when like somebody at some point realized that some of the stuff was too hard, and rather than fix it, they were like, that's
exactly what happened. Yes, that's exactly what happened. You can just accomplish everything in that game by fishing.
Yeah.
And Ash, I do want to rant about what I hated about that game.
Which is
that every time you go to an island, there's a very particular sequence of events that you need to follow exactly, or the game kind of breaks. So it's like, find your friend, right? And then it's like, find keys to unlock the Chaos Emeralds, right? So you can get to a Chaos Emerald, and it's like, oh yeah, it takes 3 keys to get this Chaos Emerald. You have 17 keys because you went and played the levels because you were playing a Sonic game and you thought it'd be fun to play some Sonic, but you didn't do it in the right order. So you just can't do anything right now. And it just like leaves you stuck, like trying to figure out how to trigger the event where it's like, okay, you can get the yellow emerald now.
That's interesting. That's never happened to me. That didn't happen to me.
It happened every island because I explored first and then I like got keys.
That's 100% going to happen to me because I'm always doing the exploring for sure.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. So just do what the game tells you.
No.
You know how the Genesis games would deal with that? The instruction booklets would tell you it's a trap by Dr. Robotnik.
That's right. True. That's right. Yeah.
You've fallen right into his trap, Frank. Before we go into the break, I have a question for you.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I'd like to ask, do you have any questions for me?
Let's see. I a little more prep time. I might have.
Yeah, right.
No, you don't.
Let's see. Okay, what's your favorite Batman game?
My favorite Batman game. I really like I have a lot of fondness for the Adventures of Batman and Robin game that came out on Sega with those Mondo backgrounds. I love the soundtrack of the Batman NES game. But overall, I gotta say that Arkham Knight, that's the best Batman game. Because it's the one that feels the most like being Batman.
Arkham Knight, not Gotham Knight, right?
No, not Gotham Knights. Yeah, Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight.
Arkham 3. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I think that's my exact answer, other than I'd add the Super Nintendo one based on the cartoon as well. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay, what's your favorite Superman game?
My favorite Superman game is an iOS game that came out around Man of Steel.
Same. Oh my God, we have the same taste. Yeah.
And what I love about that game, what's hilarious about that game, is that it like gives you points and like a score multiplier for doing as much destruction to the city as possible.
That makes sense.
Like, it so hilariously misses the point of Superman that it's just like the most revelatory of what Man of Steel was really about.
Depends on what you think of the point of Superman is, I guess.
Yeah,
he's a big baby cop as far as I can tell. So I think him
you're wrong.
Smashing everything seems right.
He's a Boy Scout, not a cop.
He's a fireman.
What's your least favorite Batman game?
My least favorite Batman game. As someone who gets money from DC Comics, I gotta say every Batman game ever made is special in its own way, and it has something interesting about it. And I don't have anything bad I can say.
Okay.
I don't know, that isometric one was kind of boring. I couldn't get into it.
There's no way that DC Comics cares about your opinion of Ocean's 1985 ZX Spectrum title Batman.
Exactly. That's the one I don't
care.
like. That's the one I'm talking about. That one to me was not a fun time.
We talk about that one a lot on here.
As for like current Batman or DC games that are out right now, I have nothing to say about them. I have absolutely nothing to say about them. I don't have any opinions. I have no opinions about any of the video games that DC released this year.
Okay, what's your least favorite Mario?
My least favorite Mario?
Yep.
Man, honestly, couldn't get into Sunshine.
Yeah.
The water backpack mechanics never clicked with me.
I don't like that game
I know people
either.
love them.
Who's your least favorite insert credit guest?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh, I would say I know who it is, but they'd get mad if I said it.
Okay. It's me.
No, Frank said guest, so
you're
right. Disqualified.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Nintendo girl?
My favorite Nintendo girl. Well, this goes back to a discussion that Ash and I had off mic about a lightning round idea I had that I ultimately decided was too gross to do, where I went to a pornography aggregator and tried to determine who the most popular characters are in video game porn, and 8 out of 10 of them were Nintendo girls.
Whoa.
And yeah, that was the other 2 are from Overwatch.
I can name like 3, so I'm really
I'm kind
fascinated.
of interested in guessing, but that might...
You know, if you want to guess, we could do it.
Is that our lightning round?
It was gonna be, but
Ash thought it was too easy?
Ash is kind of cheating, I think.
Yeah, Ash can't guess, but I'll give you 3 guesses and see how many you can get right.
Well, Samus.
Samus is on there, yes.
Peach.
Peach is on there, yes.
Who's the mayor of Donk?
The mayor. Are you talking about Pauline?
Pauline.
Pauline is not on there. That's strike 1.
Fire Emblem.
There are 2 Fire Emblems on the list.
Mayor of Dong.
Is Bowsette on there despite not being real?
That's a good guess, but no.
Dang.
Not in the top 10.
Well, that's my evening plans canceled. Is that a good joke?
That's good enough for this show.
Okay. All right, yeah.
Okay, the top 10 from 10 to 1 is number 10, Robin from Fire Emblem. Number 9 is the Wii Fit Trainer. Number 8 is Lucina from Fire Emblem.
Okay.
Number 7 is Diva from Overwatch.
Yeah.
6 is Palutena from Kid Icarus.
Whoa.
Big following.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't even... Yeah, same.
That's great.
5 is Tracer from Overwatch. And then you got Zelda, Samus, Peach, and a very surprising number 1, Rosalina from Super Mario Galaxy. Very, very popular.
People do like Rosalina because she has like a sassy
haircut,
like idol animation or something.
No, it's just big mommy vibes.
I think it is worth noting that all 8 of these girls are in Super Smash Brothers, so there's clearly a lot of overlap between those 2 communities.
I was mainly distressed when I tried to guess because I picked people like Crystal from Star Fox and like Lara Croft, because those, if you had asked like 10 or even 20 years ago, that would have been like the top.
Yeah,
like,
in the
definitely.
90s.
And I'm like, oh shit, I'm old. The porn has changed.
That's right.
Yeah, people don't even care about Crystal anymore. Man, lots changed. My favorite Nintendo girl, I don't.
Is it Rosalina?
You know what? I'm a man of the people. I gotta say Rosalina.
Right.
Yes, I had my sexual awakening to the 2008 video game Super Mario Galaxy.
No, but now I want you to answer for real.
That's exactly what happened. We are out of time.
Okay.
We'll be right back after a quick break. Thank you for bringing that up, Ash.
You're welcome.
Funny episode we got going here. It's pretty good.
Gonna be a good app.
Solid stuff.
Welcome back to Intercredit. I'm Alex Jaffe. I'm here with Frank Spalding, Brandon Sheffield, and Ash Parrish, and I am here to ask you a question from the Dirtbag. The Dirtbag is the thing that we call the form where you, the listeners to this show, can submit your own questions, but only if you give us money. Go to patreon.com/insertcredit, where for a nominal monthly fee, you can get access to this form, as well as monthly bonus episodes and other surprises and secrets. This week's question comes from Spencer Gifts, who asks, what is the best game with the worst graphics? And what is the worst game with the best graphics?
I'm getting deja vu. Have we done this?
We might have.
First of all, I just want to say, every time Spencer Gifts comes up, I want them to be called Spencer GIFs.
Yeah.
Because I think that...
let's pronounce it that way from now on.
That would be a fun, like, Twitter handle from 10 years ago, to be like Spencer GIFs, because that was good times in those days.
I thought you were saying Spencer Gifts, like that store in the mall. You're not?
Oh, no, that's definitely what it's
what it is.
on.
I just want it to be, I want to subvert it and have it be Spencer GIFs, like an animated GIF, and then and then you put your internet and your mall core together, and that's a fun time for me. Anywho,
I think we decided the best game with the worst graphics is Defender last time we did this.
But that, I don't know if I agree with that anymore.
I remember us bringing up Defender.
Yeah, that feels right. I think that's what we determined.
I don't know if I agree with that anymore. Best game with the worst graphics. I feel like I should have a better answer for this today, but do I? Worst game with the best graphics?
Worst game with the best graphics and best game with the worst graphics.
Almost any game by Frenchie McFrench, director.
Eric Chahi?
David Cage?
Oh.
David Cage.
Because I was about to say BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
The other David Cage.
No,
yeah.
I think Detroit Become Human might beat BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, that's a good one.
As long as it's a David Cage joint, it counts.
Yeah.
Got good graphics.
I have the
Got
graphics.
good graphics.
I do not like the gameplay.
It's like you are harassing a woman in real life.
Did you hear that the baguette has entered the what is it, like the record of intangible treasures?
UNESCO World Heritage thing.
Yeah, but it's called an intangible treasure, and to me, I can touch a baguette. You know, it's a pretty tangible treasure as far as I'm concerned.
But can you explain why a baguette brings you joy?
It's tasty.
Like, I think it's because of the very French je ne sais quoi about the baguette that, like, yeah, I understand that.
Oh, but so this brings us back to BioShock Infinite, because that has Baguette Boy in it, doesn't it?
Oh, the dancing child.
It does have Baguette Boy, yes.
And so Baguette, so this is why probably Detroit Become Human is the worst game with the best graphics, because BioShock Infinite, for all its failures, does have...
Still has Baguette Boy
a boy
yes.
dancing around a pillar with a baguette. So it's got that going for it.
It's still got that going for it, yeah. So we're going to go Defenders. We're going to go Defender and Detroit Become Human. The double Ds.
Yeah.
Do we have any disputes with that?
No.
I feel like we could probably do better than Defender, but I don't know if my brain is ready.
What are you going to say, Pong? You want to say Pong? Pong doesn't have bad graphics. Pong has perfect
Pong's not a
graphics.
Good game.
It's not a good game. Yeah.
No.
Well, that's where I was going with Defender. I'm not sure how good Defender is as a game to me anymore. Yeah.
You want to say Asteroids?
But it's hard
maybe?
to say what's bad graphics.
Yeah.
Right. I think Defender looks cool.
Defender does
I
look
think that's
cool,
the other
yeah.
problem. So
yeah, because bad isn't the same as basic. That's a good point.
Yeah, I think bad graphics is like Man, I don't know. Like, I was gonna say Minesweeper, but Minesweeper has perfect graphics for what it's doing. It's really got a good aesthetic and stuff. So I just bad graphics to me at this point would have to be something that doesn't work. Like it's graphically corrupted and messed up.
Okay, what if it's a text adventure, like a really good one, like a Mind Forever Voyaging, and it's run through an interpreter that has a really bad font? That's my answer.
Yeah,
it is a Mind Forever Voyaging
in Comic Sans
through with Comic Sans as the or Wingdings
or Papyrus.
In your interpreter.
A good text adventure with an ugly font. I can accept that.
I'd probably play it in Papyrus, though. Actually, now that I think about it.
To bring the conversation for those of the listeners who do not have any fucking idea what you guys are talking about because they play games in the modern age.
Weird.
I'd say,
Weird.
Sorry, this always happens whenever I'm a guest. You guys talk about like some esoteric game that I've never heard from on a system I have never heard from. And
Welcome back to Insert Credit.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But I get to learn something, which is why I enjoy coming on here. But I will say, for the modern audiences who are listening, hi, how you doing? I'm Ash Parrish. You can catch me at The Verge. The best game with the worst graphics currently is Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Okay.
It's giving very like Frostbite engine Dragon Age 2 vibes, because even playing it on my decent PC,
I do like a Dragon Age 2.
Yeah, even playing it on my PC, it's like, this is not good for a modern video game. And like the textures, people's skins look so smooth and plasticky. It's just like, it's not great. But everything else about that game is superb, and there is a review forthcoming, so check it out.
Nice.
Check it out.
Nice.
Well, it's time for a return to my favorite segment on this show, Violence Island.
Yeah.
We are well into season 2 right now. This is our mid-season at this point, I believe. This is where we solicit who would win in a fight matches on forums.insertcredit.com. We take 4 of them, determine the winners of those fights, then pitch the winners of those fights against each other until there's one champion who is banned from the island until the end of the season, where we have a tournament of champions and declare the winner. That's how it goes, and you can get into it by going to forums.insertcredit.com. Here are the 4 matches I have selected this month. Our first battle is Parappa the Rapper versus Paper Mario.
Oh, because they're both flat guys.
Yeah, they're both flat guys.
Parappa can drive a car, but what can Paper Mario do?
He's got a hammer. He can jump.
Yeah.
He can level up. Yeah, he can go grind.
Yeah.
Parappa can check and turn his signal to the right.
Well, we don't actually know this. We have to establish more Violence Island lore here, right? Are there grunt enemies that one could grind on Violence
That's
Island?
a very good question. What is the native... you know what? I'm going to say it's uninhabited, because otherwise there could be pretty big ramifications for particular power sets down the line. So I'm going to say...
That's true.
I'm going to say there aren't like mob enemies.
Yeah.
There may be like grubs and like anything you would find on like an island with vegetation, because it is like it is populated like kind of a dense jungle in places.
Yeah, but Mario would have to grind for years on those.
Yeah, it wouldn't be enough. Like these would be like barely level 1 enemies.
Okay.
Doesn't Parappa have a gun?
Does he?
Doesn't he like shoot a gun or wield a gun in that game? Also, Parappa
Not that I can
knows
recall.
Kung Fu.
He does know Kung Fu. That's what I was going to mention. He learned Kung Fu from an onion, so...
Yeah. Kick, punch. It's all in the mind.
That's right.
I think Parappa having a gun is fanon. I don't think that's real.
I don't think that's real life. I gotta look this up, though, because I'm very curious about where this is coming from.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to know? Like, Parappa the Rapper had an anime. I don't know how long it lasted, and it was a while ago, but the opening theme song to that anime is like one of the best opening themes in all of anime history. Look it up. It's really, really, really fucking good. It just makes you feel good about being a human. Like, it feels... I don't know, it makes you feel happy. Like, look it up and listen to it. It's really, really good.
There's no doubt in my mind that Parappa would devastate Paper Mario musically.
Yeah, correct.
But that's not what's going on here.
Yeah, so, I mean, what is the Kung Fu defense against a head stomp, though?
Right. Like, we see that he can do Kung Fu, but, like, does he ever do Kung Fu on anybody? Do we know how good he is at it?
Well, my understanding of Kung Fu is that it's mostly about self-defense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
yes.
So that's back to my question now. Is there kung fu defense against a head stomp? I'm going to say no.
I think there is.
I would say yes.
I've watched so many movies.
Okay.
There is for sure.
Okay.
And one of them is strengthening your head, and then you break the guy's feet with your own head. Anyway, just to the Parappa point with the weapons.
Yeah.
In PlayStation All-Stars, he has access to a whole host of weapons, and Masaya Matsura was really upset about it. So he does have he does know how to use weapons anyway. If weapons arrive, he knows how.
I guess technically so does Mario.
But I don't think Mitsuru would allow him to come here with us.
He's not the boss. Sony's the boss. Sony owns Parappa, so
the streets could use a new Parappa the Rapper game. It's been pretty light for rhythm games that aren't just dance nowadays.
Yep.
So.
We've discussed this quite recently on the show.
Yeah,
actually.
it's totally true. But anyway, I think Parappa wins because he knows kung fu.
I would disagree because in Parappa's case, the kick punches all in the mind.
But no, you watch him do
so
it.
It's not really demonstrable in real life.
I understand that conceptually that makes sense, but it is definitely demonstrated that the ability to do it is all in the mind, but that it is...
Paper Mario has taken out like these eldritch darkness villains and these big old dragons. He has a lot more combat experience
Parappa's
than
got a car.
Parappa.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Parappa
all that
does
is
have a
rendered
car.
moot because Parappa can just run him over with a car.
Parappa can just run him over with a car.
Parappa can interact with 3D. Can Paper Mario? No.
Yeah.
Oh.
There are 3D objects within Paper Mario.
Are there really 3D objects in Paper Mario? Because every time I see him interact with a 3D object, like the perspective switches so it's still flat. So I don't necessarily believe
All
that
right.
he can do 3D. Just saying.
You gotta vote.
Yeah, we gotta vote.
I vote Parappa.
Parappa's.
Parappa.
You lose, Jaffe.
All right, Parappa it is. I'm the only holdout, but yeah, I'm going to say Parappa hits Paper Mario with his car. Our next match is Soul Bad Guy versus Die Hardman.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that. I'm actually pleased that I actually know who both these people are.
Oh, great.
I am looking them both up right now.
I know who they are, but I think Soul Bad Guy wins. He's kind of like our god tier character in this case, in my opinion. Soul Bad Guy can do all kinds of stuff. Die Hard Man he's just like a, I don't know. He's I don't know. Someone else.
He's
talk.
John McClane in a gimp mask.
Yeah,
is who he is.
I feel like the fact that Die Hard Man is a Kojima character would confer upon him abilities.
Yeah, he's
that
got
make
some
him,
mysterious stuff, probably.
Yeah, that would make him at least be on equal footing with Soul Bad Guy.
On equal,
I
I don't know about that. Maybe like a Ken, but a Soul Bad Guy?
Soul Bad Guy, he's pretty tough.
He is tough.
And
but his name, like, the fact that he is named Die Hard Man, like, Kojima is not subtle at all. So, the fact that he's named Die Hard Man means that there is something about him, maybe that's something that we haven't quite seen yet, that there's a reason he's named that, okay? Because, like I said, Kojima is not subtle. Like,
No.
The guy's name is Porter Bridges!
yeah,
I mean, I think he could fight Batman. He could be like a street level brawler in that sense. Like, I think he's like some kind of martial arts expert, but Soul Bad Guy is basically a superhero.
yeah, he can make fire happen. And also, if we're talking about subversion of paradigms or whatever, Soul Bad Guy, despite being called Bad Guy, is the protagonist of Guilty Gear for quite some time.
Right.
So he's got some nuance going on. I think it's Soul Bad Guy because he can do fire. He has a lot of combat experience that we know about, and Die Hard Man's combat experience is something that we can infer, we can only guess. Yeah. So he's got a mystery, but we definitely know that Soul Bad Guy is guilty of at least a few gears.
He carries that guilt with him.
He carries that guilt.
Yeah,
You're gonna carry that weight, Soul Bad Guy.
Okay, so Soul Bad Guy can do these things, but Die Hard Man, can he not die? So it's like, is it unstoppable force, immovable object?
Oh,
situation
it's not
here?
Die Impossible Man. It's Die Hard
Yeah.
Man. It's gonna
Okay.
be difficult.
Well, that also means that, like, when he dies really hard. It's like,
Yeah.
like bloody mess perk and Fallout hard. You know, there's just
We know that in at least some Guilty Gear games, Soul Bad Guy has an insta-kill move. In fact, in quite a lot of them. It's a complicated move to pull off, but if you do, it instantly kills your opponent if it hits. And, I mean, he might be dying real hard at that time. So
Yeah, it's a good day to die hard.
yeah.
I'm giving it to Soul Bad Guy. What do you folks say?
Yep, Soul Bad Guy for me.
Hey, you're the boss.
You know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you're gonna say Die
I'm
Hard.
gonna hold out for Die Hard.
All right,
win.
well,
Yeah.
I think Soul Bad Guy wins. Our next match is Jean from God Hand versus Kazuma Kiryu.
Oh,
Ooh,
goodness.
No, oh, come on.
They would just team up or something. That's what would happen.
Yeah,
I
they
think
wouldn't fight. They would be
It's a shame
friends.
to see them fight.
Well, okay. I mean, that's a valid answer. Is that you put them together, what happens, right? Like that. So
Yeah.
if they're teaming up, are we all in agreement that they're going to team up and they're now one unit?
I think so. Like, who, especially when you put these two together.
Yeah.
Like I just don't see them not teaming up because Jean is gonna like Kiryu. He's gonna be like, I like your style, and then they're gonna have to like go raid a really tall tower together and beat up a bunch of guys, and Kiryu's gonna be like, you really got something or whatever. Yeah, it's they're gonna have a mutual respect by the end. We're gonna go on some side quests.
Maybe a little bit of
They're
romance.
gonna open up a hostess bar together.
So Violence Island now has a tower full of enemies and side quests.
No, later after they win this competition,
After.
Yeah.
they're gonna go do that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be too much.
Yeah. Sorry.
Real estate gurus open a hostess bar.
That's right.
They're gonna solve
yeah.
like street level problems of like sex workers.
Yep.
Deliver a
Yep.
pizza.
Yeah.
I'm very charmed by this idea. I will allow Jean and Kazuma to become a single unit.
This is the first time we've done this. I think it makes sense.
Yes.
That is not true.
Oh, who else did we absorb?
The minions
Oh, that's
were
right. And the
controlled
rabbits.
by Kratos.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, the rabbits.
Wait.
The rabbits were
Excuse
controlled
me?
by Kratos last season, yes.
No, wait. Explain this.
I will explain this. This is my idea. I think that the rabbits have just never had a stern authority figure, and I think Kratos looks at them and just goes, "Boy," and they just immediately are like, "Huh?" and they do whatever he says.
Yeah.
They do their little dumb
And that's
salute.
how Kratos ended up winning season 1 of Violence Island.
He had infinite rabbits.
Yeah.
Just the mental image of that is upsetting.
It's great. It's wonderful. It's why we
Also,
do
we
this show.
decided that rabbits are not finite, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we decided that rabbits are an infinite resource. That's how Kratos was able to win.
Okay, I actually do have an answer to the Jean versus Kazuma question.
Okay.
And the answer is Goro. Period.
Oh yeah.
That's who wins the fight. Goro wins
He
the
just
fight.
shows up as a third party, and the other two are like, "What happened? What happened last night? I need to spend an entire game piecing this together."
I'm gonna go with Jean and Kazuma
Yeah, they team up.
and they go together into the next round.
Nice.
Our next match is Francis York Morgan versus Phoenix Wright.
I love it. Well, it's definitely
That's Morgan.
it's-
Morgan's violent.
It's 100%. Francis York Morgan wins because he's violent. He will.
But he's never been in a Marvel versus Capcom.
No, but he has mowed through zombies with a weed whacker.
Yes. Yeah, unlike Parappa, he does have a gun.
He does have a gun. He will kill people. He's unhinged, and then you got Phoenix Wright, who wants to follow the law. All his attacks in Marvel vs. Capcom are like, I don't want to say they're non-violent because they are violent, but they're like funny. They're like him opening up his briefcase and papers come out or whatever.
Yeah, they're accidentally violent.
Yeah, so
Like, if Phoenix wins, you can imagine in fiction that he won by accident.
yeah. But I think Francis York Morgan doesn't kill him. I think he just beats him up.
Shoots him in
I
the
think
legs.
he shoots him in the head and loud and goes, "Nice, great, wow, what a good shot, wow."
Okay, yeah, that's probably right. And then he goes and collects some stars off of his body.
Okay, I disagree.
Well, he
because-
just, like, monologues about how much he loved to erase her head.
All right, Ash
yeah.
with the dissenting opinion, go.
Okay.
For two reasons. One, Francis York Morgan does not have access to Gumshoe or Miles Edgeworth.
You can't.
can't
Francis
pull
York
friends.
Morgan does not have access to Mia Fey.
Although Marvel vs. Capcom rules, maybe you have.
Yeah.
Maybe you have some.
And I think because Phoenix Wright is Phoenix Wright, the fact that he's got a competent prosecutor, a somewhat competent Heart of Gold detective, and a spirit medium on his side can defeat Francis York Morgan. I feel
Okay.
like Mia Fey would like transform into some like dead, I don't know, wife of Francis York Morgan and convince him to not do anything to her.
But I think he would just shoot her in
Also-
the head and go, "Great, wow."
Nice shot.
It is very old established Violence Island precedent that you can't bring your friends to the fight unless that's like summoning is literally one of your powers.
And also, I think that Ash's scenario is basically the Batman rule, where it's like he'll figure it out. You know, I don't think I want that on Violence Island.
No.
Okay. Even then, in the hierarchy of like, because Phoenix Wright is a lawyer, right, and Francis York Morgan is an investigator. The function of a lawyer is to interpret the evidence that the investigator puts forth.
Okay.
You're trying to say that.
All right, where are you going with this, counselor?
Hierarchically speaking, Phoenix Wright is like the boss of Francis York Morgan, so he wins automatically.
You just don't want Phoenix to die.
The Justice Department of the United States does not control Violence Island. They don't have jurisdiction.
We're in neutral waters.
I tried.
Yeah.
You did try, and it was a valiant
The answer
effort.
is, wow, great, nice shot.
Yeah.
Okay, our semifinals. Parappa the Rapper versus Soul Bad Guy.
Soul Bad Guy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Parappa.
Soul Bad Guy.
Yeah.
Fighting game characters are well established for their ability to destroy cars, and that's Parappa's biggest asset in this fight.
Although Parappa has been in a fighting game, but nobody liked it.
That's true.
It's not canon according to his creator, so we're going to respect that.
I'm going to respect that. We've got the Gene and Kiryu Dream Team versus Francis York Morgan.
Oh, Gene and Kiryu.
Sorry,
Gene and Kiryu.
Sorry, York.
What happens is they don't kill Francis York Morgan, and then later he comes back to help them. I mean, this is just, again, in the fiction after this. Later he comes back to help them when they're on the top of the Millennium Tower, and somebody has come down with a helicopter being like, ha, 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 I got you all figured out. But then Francis York Morgan comes back and he's like, actually, I was helping you all along.
I like this. He later becomes a friend of Gene and Kiryu in this post-Violence Island fiction we're developing. I love it.
Kiryu's just accumulating friends.
Yeah, because that's what Kiryu does. And the question is, will that be able to stand against Soul Bad Guy?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Soul Bad Guy is pretty godlike here. I wish I knew a little more about his character.
I think they would be friends.
They might be friends again.
Wow, the team-ups continue. Okay.
This, I think, is where Gene unleashes the power of the God Hand.
Right.
I would agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, he has to take a desperate final stand because Soul Bad Guy is
he's about to kill Kiryu.
He's about to kill Kiryu. He's all amped up. Kiryu's shirt is off. He's thrown it. But then, unlike the rest of the game, where we've been defeating enemies in like 5 hits, suddenly now, despite defeating Soul Bad Guy briefly in 5 hits, a cutscene shows Kiryu getting completely destroyed, and he's going, even though we were totally winning.
Yeah.
And that's when Gene has to unleash the God Hand.
Yes!
Yeah, to defend his lover.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's our canonical end to this episode of Violence Island. Gene and Kazuma Kiryu, they advance to the Tournament of Champions together.
Yeah.
This is unprecedented. Yeah. I'm very happy with how that ended. I have one more question before we go to the lightning round. Who or what is the Gritty, the chaotic Philadelphia Flyers mascot of video games?
That's a good question that I'm not sure I know the answer to at this present time. Gritty. So some kind of a weird chaos element character, and it should be
that guy.
Should be someone that, despite not particularly exhibiting any of those qualities, people like hoist like communist, socialist, social justice properties onto.
They William Randolph hoist him.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
So something like
Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Oh, Blinks.
Yeah.
Blinks is an interesting choice.
Blinks is Gritty.
Blinks is definitely a wild card. I don't know if he's in popular culture enough.
Okay, so the question isn't necessarily who is the Gritty. I mean, it is, but like the sub question of that is like, who is the most communist socialist video game character?
Yeah, okay. Something like that.
And I don't know who that might be.
Yeah.
Outside of like, I don't know, Joseph Stalin showing up in Command and Conquer Red Alert or some shit.
Yeah, I feel like...
Oh, wait a minute. Tim Curry's character from Command and Conquer Red Alert.
Space! Yeah, Tim Curry.
Oh, man.
Is it Tim Curry?
It might
I think
be
it's
Tim
Tim
Curry.
Curry.
Tim Curry is the gritty
I
of
watched
video
this movie
games.
that's called Doom Patrol or something, and it's a Nickelodeon kids post-apocalyptic straight to video.
I promise that isn't Doom Patrol. Whatever you're talking
No,
I was going to say Doom Patrol.
Room Patrol or something.
It's Doom something. Anyway, Tim Curry is in it, and he's just having a blast in that movie. He's just full on command and conquering the whole time. And I highly recommend, if I can find the name of that movie that you viewed at. I think Tim Curry. I think Tim Curry is a really good answer.
All right.
I'll go with it. Let's go into our lightning round. We are
Doom Runners.
running out of time.
It's called
here.
Doom Runners.
So here's what we're going to do. I've grabbed a bunch of questions from the Dirtbag because we are still interested in getting that backlog down. We're way behind. You're going to have 15 seconds to answer each of these questions. Here we go. Cold Pie asks, what is an Animal Crossing caliber joke about your own name?
What's an Animal Crossing joke about a name? I forget.
Just like make a dumb pun about it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like when you catch a fish? Like
Exactly.
that goes great with mustard and ketchup.
Yeah,
Frank.
You got a Frank. Yeah, that's good.
Someone had to say something. We're out of time.
Yeah, we are out of time. That's correct.
Question 2. On-brand Sheffield.
you're out of time. You're out of time.
We're
Get
out
back.
of time. Nope.
Yeso asks, what ride or attraction would you most like to add to Universal Japan Studios' Super Nintendo World?
Oh, the clear tubes. Shoot people through those pneumatic tubes.
Oh, yeah, the pipes.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yes.
I want a dark ride that counts down the 10 most porn requested Nintendo characters.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely, yes. Question 3, Mox Bagel asks, what non-Nintendo game would make the best theme park, and where should it be located?
The Last of Us, Florida.
Oh, God.
That's good. Yes.
Jeez.
Sean asks, what is the right amount of nostalgia in gaming?
2.
None.
Yeah, none.
All right. Ski Bump, what game feels the most like being in a band?
How is that not Rock Band?
It is Rock Band.
Yeah, it's got to be Rock Band. Come on.
I mean, it could be Guitar Hero, but it's Rock Band.
Yeah, this question is one of the oldest questions in the Dirtbag because it's like, come on, it's Rock Band.
Predates Rock Band.
Why are you asking this?
Yeah.
It was an attempt at viral marketing by Harmonix.
Yes.
Yeah.
EA came in, they're like, this is a good podcast.
Before the first wave of the podcast, David asked, what game experience is best improved by cheat mode?
I was going to say Turok has certain things that you can change in the cheat mode make Turok a little better, like double jump really helps.
That's got to be the answer because we're out of time. Yep. Nick Vitterli asks, what is the best video game that you will never play again?
God of War Ragnarok. It's too big, it's too long, I'll never do it again. But it was fucking fantastic.
It's a good answer, and the only one we have time for.
I'm ahead of you, I'm just never going to play it.
Mose asks, if there was one added character in Smash Brothers that was based on a real person, one with importance to video games, who would it be?
Simon Tsura.
No, the Fairchild guy, the guy who's on the Google Doodle right now.
Oh, Jerry Lawson?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's a good answer.
I don't see him as a fighter, but
or
sure.
Miyamoto. Just put Miyamoto's Wii in there.
Sure. Our next question is from the Beige Knight, who says, what's the worst form of video game stolen valor?
What the hell does that even mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't know, like claiming to have done something you didn't do.
Oh, whoever that Kong guy was then.
Tommy Tallarico.
Oh, it's either Tommy Tallarico or that Ashley guy who's always posting things about the history of Doom, and then after every single post, John Romero is coming back saying, no, that is not what happened. This is what happened.
I have a photographic memory, and this is literally what happened.
Ashley is constantly making claims, and then John Romero is like, nope, this. Goodbye.
All right. Our last question is from Jack O'Keefe, who asks, are video games theater?
Yes.
Theater rhythm is.
It's high camp.
Yeah, they're camp.
Video games are camp.
That's right.
That's fair.
I think you got it.
You know what? I am tallying up the points here, and Ash, you are our winner this week. Congratulations.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
You came on at the last minute, blew us all out of the water. Really appreciate it. Just an all-time champ of a guest. And
That's true.
Your reward is that you get to think of a question for next week. Don't tell it to us now. Take a week to think about it.
I will do that.
Now, if anybody has anything they'd like to recommend or plug from their personal projects, now's the time to do that.
I recommend the song Tough Boy by Tomcat, aka the opening theme for Fist of the North Star. It's really fun to listen to.
It's a good recommendation.
Yeah, and they have a full album as well that maybe not everybody knows about. And that album's pretty good. Don't expect it all to be Tough Boy, but some of it is Tough Boy-esque. So give that a look. And then I'll recommend Doom Runners, the movie that I was just talking about and couldn't remember the name of, which has Tim Curry in it. It's not good. So don't go into it looking for that. But if you want to see Tim Curry go, I'm a bad man, my name's Dr. Cow, then you can enjoy it on that level, which I did.
Doom Runners is the name of a Nickelodeon movie and not like a PlayStation 1 game?
A Nickelodeon movie from 1997. I'm sure there's also a game called Doom Runners, but
I can imagine it's published by Crave.
Mm-hmm.
It costs like $30 to make.
Yep.
It's got like a rendered, really bad looking running guy on the front.
And it's I don't know, Metro 3D is involved somehow.
Yeah.
Frank, you got any?
No, I'm good. I'm going to hope that our annual fundraiser drive has met its goal by the time this episode comes out. So don't.
Yeah, I hope so too. Don't give Frank any money.
Don't do it.
Well, I'm going to plug Frank's fundraiser anyway. Go donate to the Video Game History Foundation so they can keep the lights on.
Nice.
Thank you, Ash.
I am really into the new Bleach anime that just came out.
Ooh, the 1,000-Year War.
Yeah, 10,000 Year Blood War or whatever. It's like if you like shonen shit, like where, dudes punching each other with cool powers, it's got all of that in like the first handful of episodes that I've seen.
Should I watch that if I haven't watched Bleach? I never got into Bleach because I didn't like the character designs, and so I've just never interacted with it.
Don't watch Bleach, Brandon. You wouldn't like it. Do watch One Piece. One Piece is the good one. I'm 140 episodes into One Piece. I'm loving it.
Reverse those recommendations.
Now.
Jaffe is wrong in this. You should not watch One Piece. You should absolutely watch Bleach.
I disagree.
Okay.
I'm watching the first 2 episodes of both is what I'm going to do now, and I'll let you know whether mom or dad gets to keep custody of me.
I would be very interested to know which one you like based on the first 2 episodes, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to win that.
We'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, play Midnight Suns because it's great. It's like Marvel, if Marvel made Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and Marvel Snap is also good, and I guess my life is all Marvel content right now, which is actually really depressing when I say it out loud.
Yeah, there's just nothing. It's hard to avoid that. Like, it was a little frustrating to me to see people, they're like, oh, we're playing a new fun card game, but it's all Marvel stuff, and I can't.
Yeah, Ash, I've been meaning to ask, who's Blue Marvel? Like, that's a character I've never heard of before, but he's like in every Marvel Snap screenshot I see.
He's a black guy who gives all of your other characters like +1, so he's like a pretty big staple in most decks. But yeah, I feel that way too about Marvel Snap. Like, oh god, more Marvel shit. I have had enough. But shit, when you do something really freaking good, you just can't really ignore it. And Marvel Snap is really freaking good. It's old Hearthstone, guys, and Hearthstone at its inception was a really good fucking game, and it works. You got to give credit where it's due, and it's definitely due there. I know nothing about Blue Marvel. I've never heard of him before this game, but he's a great card, and I have him in all of my decks.
That doesn't answer my question, but it's the only one I'm going to get. I have some recommendations. I would like to recommend that if you're listening to this show in some format where you can subscribe to or review podcasts, I'm specifically talking about iTunes, guys. I don't say iTunes because Apple is an evil corporation, but I'm talking about iTunes. That's the one that's important. I know you have like some kind of moral problem with Apple, and that's fine. But if you want to help us, just download the Apple thing and leave us a review, and it'll really help us. You can delete it right after. That's all I ask. It's absolutely free. But if you'd like to give us money, we'll take that.
I want to get to 666 patrons. God darn, I got it.
Yeah, we're gonna get there, and then we're gonna do something stupid. We're gonna do our evil episode. We're all gonna grow fake beards and conspire to kill Captain
Jaffe,
Kirk.
I have a very quick thing that I have to say about growing fake beards.
Yeah.
On Halloween, I went as my friend Zach McCune.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah,
McCune.
I went to his house. And I dressed as him, and he has a distinctive facial hair arrangement. But I decided to dress as him after I had fully shaved my face after like a week and a half of not shaving. And so I could have had his facial hair configuration shaved into my face, but I shaved my entire face first, And so I had to go to Walgreens and buy an eyebrow pencil and draw a beard on myself. The end.
So that's what we're going to do in episode 666.
Episode 666. We're all going to have fake beards drawn on with eyebrow pencils.
And you're not going to see it, but you'll feel the difference in our voices. You'll feel it. You'll hear it in your ears and feel it in your heart.
We're all going to be Zach McKean.
I'll be somebody's beard.
Sure.
Yeah. There we go.
I want to sneak in a quick recommendation thing that I forgot about.
I'm in the middle of my outro. God damn it. You're the one who's like, we got to be in a rush here.
I don't care. This will excite Brandon.
I love stuff that excites
So Rich Whitehouse, who works with me at the foundation and is an amazing game engineer, released the first Jaguar emulator today that actually does everything right and plays all the games.
Oh, so, yes.
RichWhitehouse.com. What's really cool about it, though, is that he was paid to make this for that Digital Eclipse collection, and as part of his contract, he was able to release it on the internet.
That's good.
That's really fucking cool.
Now I can finally recommend people Jaguar games.
Yeah,
okay.
That's like the industry giving back.
Next episode, we got to talk about Jaguar games.
Well, I've never...
I want to talk about Jaguar games.
Yeah, don't include me on that one either.
That's fine. You're not invited back for at least 2 episodes. We got to space it out.
I will stop scrolling Twitter until you're done with your outro.
Yes, please do. You can also join us on forums.insertcredit.com, where you can submit your own Violent Island matchups and create lifelong friendships between video game characters who would otherwise never meet. You could look for Insert Credit on YouTube, and I think that TikTok's happening any day now.
Yeah.
Any day now.
Wait, I have one more suggestion. I'm sorry, Jaffe. I'm sorry.
Ashley Parrish, I swear to Christ. Go ahead.
If you're in Georgia, go vote.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
good one.
go vote. Yeah,
vote
absolutely.
for the good one, please.
You know what? That was right.
You're right. Do the right
Do
vote.
the right vote.
Yeah.
No, but by which I don't mean right. Oh, God.
Do the
good
left
vote.
vote.
Cut that part out.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, vote for the Reverend in this case. This show is edited by Esper Quinn, with original music by Kurt Feldman. I'm Alex Jaffe.
I'm Frank Cifaldi.
I'm Brandon Sheffield.
I'm Ash Parrish.
And keep reaching for the stars, but keep your hands off Rosalina. It's like the Hall of Presidents where they like swap one out when everyone falls in the rankings.